Today we are checking out Casetta Ranch. This is a new construction neighborhood by Brohn Homes right next to Lehman High School. So we're in East Kyle. We're gonna explore 3 different homes, talk about their really good incentives right now, and I'm gonna give you my honest opinions on just the pros and cons of each floor plan. We're gonna get after it right now. Hey, Daniel here, your local Austin area real estate expert. If you're thinking of making a move to the greater Austin area, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on the latest real estate news. You know, I was a teacher before I jumped into real estate, and I found that a lot of the skills and values I had from teaching have really worked well for me in real estate. Honesty, effective communication, hard work, and really just wanting to help people achieve their goals is still really important to me. So it doesn't matter if you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. Love to help you and your family find the perfect home and at a great deal in this really interesting market we're in right now. So as I talk about Casetta Ranch and the incentives the builder's offering, you're going to be touring their model home. Just so you're aware, this is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,754 square foot home, and this is going to be one of their more expensive ones as a traditional home front facing. Probably looking around $370,000 for that particular home in that model. But let's talk about incentives. So what Brohn is currently offering is a 10% flex cash, 10% of the sales price. Now you can use all of that to just get the lowest rate possible. And so they're offering a 4.25% FHA loan, which is really good when you compare that against a top tier conventional loan that you would get from a lender going the resale route. Right now, I'm seeing FHA loans as of recording about 5.98. And so getting it at 4.25, you're gonna save hundreds of dollars in interest alone by going through the builder's lender, and they're also offering $5,000 towards closing costs. Closing costs typically cost about $7,000 to $9,000, and this is all negotiable. And then finally, they're doing something kind of odd. It's pick 3 appliances: washer, dryer, fridge, blinds, or garage door opener. I kind of don't like that they're doing that. I'd rather just you get all 5 of those. Honestly, everything in real estate is negotiable, so I'd be surprised if they push back on, no, we want everything included, especially if you're buying at the end, Q4, the end of the year. They're just trying to sell homes, so close as many as possible. So yeah, that's all negotiable, but that's what they have in writing, right? Tax rate in Casetta Ranch is 2.25%, and the tax rate is pretty low for a new construction. HOA is $50 a month. It's got a lot of nice stuff here, so I'll kind of ask the editor to throw in some B-roll here, but they have a nice dog park with some benches outside of it, and then they have a pickleball court. No shade, which I wish there was some shade there, and then there is a really, really nice pool. I was really surprised to see a pool this nice for only $50 a month. And then next to that is a really nice playground too, and a soccer field next to that playground also, and some trails around. So yeah, HOA $50, that's a steal for all the stuff you're getting here, especially that pool. It's really nice. As far as the location, we're about 10 minutes from everything. So you're 6 minutes from HEB, Target, Costco, Walmart, a hospital. There's a ton of restaurants in the area. You're walking distance from Lehman High School, so if you have a student who's going to be at the high school age, they can literally walk to school. It's right next door. And then you're 6 minutes from I-35. Now, the 2 types of products they have alley homes and traditional homes. The alley homes are going to have detached garages, and those are on 40-foot lots. And then the traditional home is the front facing, and they're on 50-foot lots. And I'll actually show on screen right now, you can see their lot map. And so you can see, hopefully you can see the fine print of the lot premiums. They put that in blue in some of them. So corner lots, larger lots, there can be a higher premium for that. But it's interesting to see this because the traditional homes, the front facing, they're all on the outside. So for most of them. So if you get a traditional home, your backyard's going to be facing nothing, right? You're not going to have a rear neighbor, which is really nice, as well as the attached garage. Just something to keep in mind there. And if you do the to-be-built route, so they do that also, you can pick a lot and build a home there. With limited customization, I think they have 8 different schemes you can pull from. It takes 4 to 5 months, okay? Which is pretty good. In Austin, it usually takes 6 to 7 months. I think there's more red tape in Austin, so 4 to 5 months if you want to go that route from picking to closing. And finally, there are 1 to 2 years left of building in Casetta Ranch before they're done. Cool, I think that's everything. Let's go check out house number 1. So the first house we're checking out is one of their alley homes. So it's going to have a detached garage. This is a 1,191 square foot home, 1 story, 3 bed, 2 bath, and it's listed at $254,000. This is one of their lowest priced homes. That's why we're starting with this one. I did the math, and if you accepted their incentives, went through their lender, did a 3.5% down payment, so you're looking at about $9,000 down payment, like cash, what you would need to close. And then with their 4.25% interest rate, you're looking at about $1,950 a month for your mortgage payment if you did a 30-year FHA loan, just to kind of give you ballpark numbers there. So $9,000 down, $1,950 a month. So pan around so you can see where we're at. This is their final phase they're building, so all of these will be homes. You can see right there, Lehman High School, but again, that will be covered when they build homes on that side of the street. Let's check it out. I like the exterior of this. So homes this price, you're not really going to see much brick or stone, but I do like this light green color they have going here. It's a little bit more interesting than just the white. I was pretty impressed. So like I said, this is one of their lower priced homes, really small. When I saw under 1,200 square feet, 3 bed, I was thinking this is going to be rough. But they did a good job with this. There's definitely issues. I'll kind of highlight what I think are the good aspects of this floor plan and the bad aspects. I do like that they have the LVP flooring throughout. That looks great all the way through. To the left here, we have our utility closet. Not stacked though, so you do have washer dryer and then a shelf above. Pretty good amount of space in there. And then behind us, you just have a linen closet. And these are the 2 guest rooms. So one pro of this one, I was surprised by the size of the guest rooms. I thought these were going to be tiny. They're small, but they're fine. And this closet space surprised me, right? Natural light coming in the closet. We got 2 windows in this corner room, so this is really nice. Here's the guest bathroom. Again, also a surprise. We have natural light coming in, a pretty good amount of space overall, and then what you would expect, right? Single sink, and then just the tub in here, now a walk-in shower. Second bedroom, very similar, if not identical, to the same size as the first one, only the 1 window, but again, pretty good amount of closet space for a guest bedroom. Now walking into the main area, really wide walkway here. This is just a coat closet. Also, one thing I noticed they did is they put little dimmers here. So, which is really nice. You can dim this. So if it's late at night, you're watching TV, that's too bright, you still want a little bit of light, you can get it lower. I thought that was a nice touch. I don't think it's a nice touch they didn't include a ceiling fan in Texas, but that's something you can add, right? That's not a crazy deal breaker in my mind. So this is the living kitchen area. Big thing with the kitchen, there's no island, right? Now you can buy an island and put one here. It's annoying. I wish they would have just included an island because there's plenty of space for one. So it's a big kitchen. Definitely you're gonna wanna add an island here. That being said, and I'm realizing this right now, there's not really a dedicated dining area. So you may have to put your dining table in the middle of the kitchen, which would work just as fine. You just want more countertop space for when you're preparing food because there's not much to work with here. But you see how the fridge fits in. I wish it was stainless steel. It's a little annoying though with the black because they have stainless steel here, stainless steel there, and then black appliances here. I like the natural light over the sink. That looks great. And then your pantry is over in the corner here. Decent sized pantry. Something I don't like is the living room. So I didn't think about it till I walked through earlier to turn the lights on. This is really long and narrow. And so it looks like you have your hookups here for Ethernet and cable. So you put your TV here, and then you'd put your couch here. That's really far away. If I'm sitting over here, I have a better view of the kitchen than the TV all the way over there. So the living room is definitely the worst part of this floor plan. You can get creative, right? But it's just gonna affect how easy it is to walk in and out of the kitchen. The primary bedroom, again, no ceiling fan, but pretty good amount of space here. A couple I wish they would have just done 2 windows on a side, but this is fine. They're both looking to your backyard. And then the primary is quite small, but again, you kind of are giving something up for being such a low price. So I like we're getting natural light, that's rare. I don't know why Brohn put the shower head all the way up there. Whatever, they welcome 7-foot tall men and women in Brohn. You can shower with ease. Only 1 sink, and then, I mean, it's an okay closet. There's plenty of levels, right? But it's a little tight in here. But you know, the main thing is kind of comparing this to other $250,000 homes and seeing, you know, what am I getting with that versus this? This has a lot more than I was expecting. So small things, you're gonna wanna add an island, not a second sink. Now I will show you the outside here. Pretty good amount of space. So it is the detached garage design like I discussed, but you have quite a lot of grass here. So if you do have dogs, they have plenty of yard / hangout area if you're gonna be grilling, right, setting up chairs. There's a lot of space here. And the nice thing is it feels extremely private because you don't have a rear neighbor, right? You have a garage kind of blocking it. So a little bit more private because of that. Garage, I was pleasantly surprised. Brohn did a great job with this. So they've added the built-in shelving for you already. It's awesome. I don't know if that comes with every model. This is the first one I've walked into, but I was not expecting that. That's great that they've added that in. And then pretty good amount of space from the wall to the door. It's looking about 1.5 feet there. So plenty of space. If you didn't want to park 2 cars in here, you definitely have room. Surprised they have an EV charging port already installed. That really surprised me. And then we have an irrigation system too that's already installed for your yard. And then the garage door opener included too. So really good amount of space in there with the EV charger and the irrigation system. I was not expecting all of those things. And then just so you can see the back here, you do get a little driveway. So you don't have to park in the garage. You can just park in the driveway here, walk in through this gate into your back door like that. And then this is the small alleyway. So more homes will obviously be built here. No through traffic, right? It's just people coming in to park in their driveway or the garages. But cool. There you have it. That was the smallest home we're checking out. Let's go check out house number 2. All right, the second house we're checking out today is their largest alley house. So this is a 2,025 square foot home, so about double the size of the first one. This one's listed at $335,000. It's a 4-bed, 2.5 bath. I did the math for this one. If you did the 3.5% down payment, this would be a $12,000 down payment, and you're looking at about $2,580 a month. So definitely quite a big increase, but it's gonna be a very different house as you're about to see. Honestly, with a house this size, if you're not looking for something close to $2,600 a month, I would advise saving a little bit more so you can do a bigger down payment, because obviously that'll lower your loan amount, and then you'll have a lower monthly payment, okay? Pan around. This one's interesting. I don't know the story behind it because we're on a completely different phase of the neighborhood. This is all finished, and these are all moved into. So I'm not sure if this used to be a model home maybe, or this was built first in the street and they were using it for tours, and now they're selling it, but it's the only house on the street for sale from the builder. I do like we have this front, we'll call it a patio. Yeah, long walkway, but it's pretty, right? They do a good job. I like the rocks for the drainage here. That may just be that neighbor who added those rocks, but it's a nice touch. All right, 2-story. There's a lot I really like about this house, and one thing I hate about this house. So you'll see that when we get there. I love the natural light immediately. So lots of room here. You can kick off your shoes, put a coat rack here, and then natural light immediately as you walk in. Same flooring as before. To the left here is the stairs. We'll go up there last. Let's go to the right first. So we have our half bath, pretty good size. Nothing too special with it. And then our living dining kitchen. So definitely way better for the size here. And they have it staged, so it's a lot easier for you to kind of visualize. Way more natural light coming in here. Plenty of room to fit couch, obvious spot to put the TV. You even get a fancy fan, look at that. And they included the dimmer. So you get best of both worlds. You have a dining area, so plenty of room. And then this kitchen is, I think it's identical as far as dimensions as the previous kitchen. They just added an island, so it looks way better. So I really wish they added that in the first one, but obviously they would have raised the price. Something I forgot to mention is you do get a large single basin sink in the last house and this one, which is nice. I never liked those two-sided sinks. That might just be a me thing, but I like the large single basin. And then pantry just tucked away in the corner here. Not the biggest pantry, but same as the last house. Now let's go to the back. And the garage is very far away, so this is much longer lot than the previous lot. Here's the thing I hate about this house. That. You have 4-foot fences, if that. So you can see everybody, and they can see you. And there is zero privacy. I mean, just where I'm standing right now. The last one just felt way more private with the tall fences on the side, the garage much closer. This just feels too much. It's way too long. And you're gonna have to make this walk, right? Because you're parking back here every day. Garage is the same, so it's good to see, right? We have the built-in shelf, we have the EV charging port, we have the irrigation system, and then same width. I'm sure they do all the same width for the garages. It's the same spec. It's good to see that wasn't something different. And then same driveways as we're seeing before, right? This, like I said, this is the second alley home. So this is, it depends. It depends on how much time you're spending outside, right? If you grill outside, if privacy matters to you. Privacy means a lot to me, and I wouldn't want to hang out in my backyard because like even now I feel like my voice is traveling and I'm annoying people around me, you know? So I hate that these fences are so low. I was shocked to see that. This has to be an older house. Obviously it's a different phase of the neighborhood. And I guess they started by doing this and probably got bad feedback and started doing the regular, 6-foot tall fences that you saw in the previous home. So if you do a to-be-built, that's gonna be in the first phase near Lehman High School like you saw. And those will all have 6-foot ceiling or fences. So something to be aware if you did wanna go the to-be-built route. You could get a large home like this with a large fence, okay? It's not with this specific floor plan, it's just a specific lot, okay? Oh, something else I didn't mention. In here is your water heater. They do tankless water heaters, which is nice. That's gonna save you on your water bill. It's also nice that it's in here. A lot of builders, a lot of really high-end builders will put it on the outside of the home, and it's usually not a problem until it freezes. And whenever we have one of those crazy freezes every few years, you suddenly have to go online and figure out, okay, what do I unplug? What do I turn off? What do I cover with towels? So it's nice that they housed it in here. So when it does freeze, you don't need to worry about your water heater getting frozen also. It's a little insulated. Cool, so I like this downstairs. Honestly, I love this house. I'm not a big fan of this lot placement. This was actually one of my favorite features, which is sad, but it tells you how many homes I've been into. This is a utility room, and this is the coolest utility room I've been in a long time for a low price home. I was not expecting this, but it's great. You got washer dryer space here, shelf above, huge bench area with this natural light coming in. I'm just getting that natural light in here, looking out to your front garden area. And then you have this open storage area with more hanging space. This is cool. I like it, and I like that it's tucked away from the rest of, like, you're over there watching TV, close that door, behind that wall is your dryer going off. You're not hearing it, which is great. And then next is our primary. Primary is downstairs, which is awesome. It's always a big thing for 2-story homes you want to check out. I like that we have this pushed back, so it gives you more room. Coming into the primary bathroom, also much bigger than the last one. Don't know why they didn't put a door here. A little odd, kind of strange. I wish they did. They also didn't paint here, so I would ask them to fix these walls so it's all the same paint color, because that looks really bad. But large walk-in shower, right? Natural light. You got the 9-foot tall person's water faucet right there. Dual vanity, so you get 2 sinks, which is great. Very large mirror. And then okay size closet, nothing super special. It's nice and open. I kind of like not having a door to the closet. It's always in the way for me. So I'm cool with that. I don't like the door by toilet. Not a fan of that. All right, let's head upstairs. All of upstairs is gonna be carpet. And all the bedrooms are carpet. You've seen that already, so that's something to expect with these. Upstairs, I'm also a big fan. So we have natural light as soon as you walk to the top, and then you have this really cool landing area. I like that they added a fan. Plenty of space. You can see where they have, again, the Ethernet port, so that's where you put the TV. This works really well if you do have plans to have a second hangout area for noise bleeding, because we're pretty far away from the downstairs living room. It's on the other side of the house. And so you can like call down here and they'll be able to hear you down there. But if you're just sitting here watching TV or hanging out, playing video games, playing board games up here with your friends, this is a second living room. That's not going to take away from what's happening down there. Now I will say we are above the primary bedroom. So kids, you can't get rowdy, but it's a nice little hangout spot here. Also really cool, love the bench. This is a cat's paradise, right? This is where all the cats will be hanging out, or dogs. Looking out the window there, checking the neighbors, see what they're up to. Also really cool closet area. This isn't even a bedroom, but this looks like a closet for a bedroom. So great spot to store your board games, store your DVD collections if you don't want to have those out anymore. Maybe you're proud of your collection. You be you, it's fine. Linen closet. A really wide walkway too. Just small things like that. I was surprised with this home. And then our 3 guest rooms. Guest room number 1. Guest rooms, definitely they didn't care too much about the space. So this is comparable to the ones we saw in the previous home, but the previous home was, 800 square feet smaller than this. So this guest room's cool. I like that we have the 2 windows, kind of the column there in that corner. Pretty boring closet with this one. Exact same as the first house. No natural light coming into this guest room though, or guest bathroom, excuse me. And then final room, just the 1 window and the typical closet. This one's definitely the biggest room by far. So if you're looking for a 4-bedroom, I think this is a decent floor plan. It really just depends on, are you comfortable with paying $25.80 a month? That would be using, like I said, 3.5% down payment and getting that 4.25% FHA rate that they're offering right now. So, if you just want to get into a house, this is great. I don't know what you're paying for rent, right? But it's also, you have to start looking at, comparable size homes in this area. Are they going for this price? Is it going to be a good investment 5-7 years down the road when you go to sell? Those are also questions to think about. Don't just think it's $25.80 a month. That sounds good. Let's move in, right? This should be an investment, right? So something to be aware of too. Cool. So this is the largest alley. We're gonna check out one more house. It's actually gonna be a little smaller than this one, but it's gonna be their traditional home. So you can see more of a traditional front-facing garage attached and what that looks like. And that'll be the last house. So I'll see you at house number 3. All right, the final home we're checking out is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,551 square foot home. It's a 1-story home, traditional, so you can see it's way different layout. And this will come out to about $11,500 down payment and about $2,500, so about $80 less a month for this one. You can pan around so you can kind of see where we're at. So we're at the end of the street here. Lehman High School's in the far corner that way. So this is actually a really good lot. You're not gonna have any through traffic here. As you can see, they're still building it, but you have very long driveway going into your 2-car garage and pretty good amount of space here covered. We'll walk through the garage first, actually, since it's open. I like that we have the window in the garage. I didn't see an EV charging port here, which surprised me because I assumed that came with all of them. You might think, well, it's not a big deal because I don't have an EV, but when you go to sell the home, if EVs become more popular, then that may be a good selling point, is to showcase, hey, we have an EV charger at that point. So something to ask them if they offer that. But Rainbird irrigation system, which will come into play because this backyard is way better than what we've seen before. But now looking at it, front door, we have our 2 guest rooms. Decent size. And however you want to use it. This would be a great office because you just have these big windows looking out to the front of the house. And then, right, you're kind of seeing deja vu, right? Guest bathroom here, natural light coming in, that looks great. And then second bedroom here. Off to the left, near the garage, is our very boring utility room compared to that awesome one we just saw. Closet. And then this opens up. Really nice kitchen area. It's just a different design than we've seen before, so I like that we have kind of 3 different countertop spaces. I like that we have a corner pantry. It's the first corner pantry we've seen, so much more storage. And I like that the sink is in the island facing everyone else. You're not having your back turned looking out the window when you're doing the dishes. So some people prefer the sink not in the island because it takes up space. I feel like you got plenty of space around the sink though with this size island. Dining area, and then very large living area. It does feel kind of dark in here, to be honest. That might just be me. I don't know. I don't know if it's coming through in camera or not, but as soon as I walked in, I was like, this house just feels dark and all the lights are turned on. Now the backyard's awesome. This is definitely the big selling point for this one. So one thing I'll say, and something to always consider when you're looking at this price range, covered back patio. Some builders do it, some builders don't. It looks like Brohn doesn't do it because every single house has not had one. So you get a stoop with no cover, okay? So that's something to be aware of. You can get a house this price with a really nice patio that's covered. If that's important to you, that would be important to me. But I do like the size of this lot. This is really big, and you don't have a rear neighbor. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe all the traditional homes are on the outside of the neighborhood, so you're never gonna have a rear neighbor, but it kind of depends. Some of them are gonna be looking at a high school, which you typically don't want. This one's great. It's going out, there's just cornfields back there, so you have nothing but sky back here, not even your power lines or anything, it's just open. So really, really nice lot placement. And this is actually the only traditional home they have available. Now you can build one, right? Take about 4 to 5 months. Pick the lot, I would definitely recommend that, but just so you're aware, as of recording, this is the only one available, and it should be finished in about a month. They're pretty close to finishing this one. And then we have our primary bedroom. No fan, 2 windows, looking into the backyard, a decent amount of space in here. And then dual vanity, it's great. Walk-in shower with natural light coming in. Weird, don't know why we don't have shelves here. There's just the single towel rack, a lonely towel rack very far away from when you walk out of the shower. And then again, weird to me, they don't have a door for the toilet. And then decent size closet. So there you have it. For my final thoughts on this one, I'm gonna be honest, this is the first time I've toured Brohn. For whatever reason, I've done so many of these tours. So this was really my first experience with Brohn, and I would call it a positive experience. And it started with me just going into the sales office. Now that's different with every salesperson and with every neighborhood, but for today, when I walked in, they were super helpful. They answered all my questions. Yeah, it was a very, very good experience, it fills you with confidence when you're gonna have to be asking these people, okay, what are you gonna honor with incentives and what concessions are you willing to make? And then just the layout of these homes. I was surprised at how cheap all the homes are. I shouldn't say cheap, low priced, right? Because it doesn't feel cheap as far as the materials. I like the amount of natural light coming into most of the homes. This one is the darkest one for whatever reason. That first house I think would be great for someone who's just trying to get the lowest price possible, but they're tired of paying rent and they'd rather pay $1,950 towards a mortgage and actually be paying down a loan and making money versus paying $2,000 in rent, to a landlord. It's small, but it's pretty good for a 3-bedroom and that price. The second home is definitely my favorite. For that price, for that size, there was just a lot of features with that house. I would just want that house on a lot like this where you have higher fences. That was my biggest gripe with that, and I think that's achievable on this new phase. But again, something to ask, definitely. And then this one, surprisingly, is my least favorite, which I thought the traditional, with an attached garage, I would be more into. I do like the backyard, but yeah, this one, I don't know, it doesn't have as much character, I guess, as the second one to me. It is bigger than the first, but it's about the same price as the second one, so I really just want to compare it to that one. I think that one was just a more interesting layout, if nothing else. It was just that backyard fence. So if you are thinking of buying in the Kyle area, Buda area, there are so many new construction out there. Look through this channel, you'll see a bunch of videos of me touring all of them. But if you are considering moving in the next 6 months, make sure you reach out to me. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or schedule a Zoom call. It doesn't cost you anything, and I promise you I will help you find clarity and confidence in your decision making when you're looking, because there are thousands of homes out there. So it really helps people who are looking for a house in an area they don't know very well, or maybe it's your first time buying a house, to reach out to someone that knows this area extremely well, knows these builders, and can kind of guide you on, here are your options, here's the pros and cons of each, and so you can make a more informed decision. That's really what my job is. So again, reach out if I can help in any way. My contact info is in the description below, and until next time, I hope to see you guys around town.